Welcome, 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 and Happy New Year. Welcome to When Queens Converse, a talk show about today's trending topics, being Black in America, and the love and happiness we all need. As always, I am your host, Ashaki, and I am joined by my three lovely co-hosts in this new year. To my right, Aisha Tyree. Down in that corner, you got Miss Akua.
Hey.
And our personal bartender and pastor, Patty.
Good morning. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year.
As always, you know we like to start our show with a toast. Today, we're going to switch it up a little something for the new year. Patty, take it away.
All right. So today, I'm going to show you all, because I'm on a health kick. I'm starting over my life, getting my life right. But with everything going on with this COVID virus and everything, I'm going to show you how to save a little money at home. And we're going to do the medicine ball from Starbucks. So as usual, I have all the ingredients at the end, but in my cup, I did it the healthy way, but you can do hot lemonade. I just squeeze a whole lemon and max. I like mine a little lemony. I'm going to add some hot water, and I have 2 teas from Starbucks. One is the Jade Citrus Mint, and the other one is the Peach Tranquility. You can add a little bit of honey, a little bit of dash of peppermint, and some hot water. And in honor of Betty White, what I wanted to do today, because I have my tea kettle over here, if you can see this, if it comes up, let me see, do I got it on the right side? Mm-hmm. Let me see. You'll see my little thing is gonna change. So when it changes, I'll show you, but it's gonna come up in a minute. So my cup is gonna change for Betty White.
It's coming. She's coming.
It's coming. Thank you for being a friend. I also have some water.
Thank you for being the friend.
All right, and it says back in St. Olaf. Betty is back in St. Olaf in the sky. So toast to Betty. Rest in peace,
Betty.
Got my cup. But cheers to a good show, ladies. Cheers to Betty White and my favorite Golden Girls on this. All right.
Cheers. Cheers. I have my own. I don't have a Betty White.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm just gonna say
nothing wrong with that.
So that segues us right on into our hot topics. And at the top of the list is the passing of Betty White. So Betty White died Friday, right before the new year. She was 99 years old. Betty White was born in Oak Park, Illinois in 1922. Her 100th birthday would have been on January 17th. And I was planning a big celebration for her. And I still may. We shall see. Betty was a pioneer of early TV with a career spanning over 7 decades. Wow. And that is something that most actresses cannot say. She was married 3 times. Her last husband stuck. She said that man was truly the love of her life, and they were together till he passed of colon cancer. Betty was in countless shows, including the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Hot in Cleveland, Boston Legal, and she was our own very beloved Rose Nyland in the Golden Girls. We are very saddened by the loss of Betty White. Well, I am. If you know me, I am a huge Golden Girls fan, and Betty was my last living pioneer, honey, and I was sad to see her go. But she was an avid animal lover, and there is a story that they tell about when Betty was, like most of us, like all of us, we're all animal lovers. There's a story about Betty when she was on a show back in the 60s, I believe, and one of the dancers was a Black man. And apparently there was an issue about him being Black and being up front and being on camera. And Betty said, "No way, Jose, if he go, I go."
Yeah.
Oh, Betty.
Yes, she sure did.
Yep. We like us a queen that stands up for what's right. So Betty, we love you. We shall miss you. And listen, have fun at St. Olaf. We love you, sis.
Love you, Betty.
I just saw your t-shirt, your Golden Girls squad
Betty. I'm sad. You know, I'm not no big Like, I'm not starstruck. I'm not that person. But there are a few people. I was upset when Tupac died. Of course, I was like 16. I was upset when Prince died. And I was upset when Betty White died.
Yeah.
She was the last one. And so, being a Golden Girls fan, that was a big deal for me. And, several people reached out to me. Thank y'all. Some of y'all didn't respond to them.
She took this really hard.
In my feelings, honey. I was truly in my feelings. But I do appreciate the fact that y'all know that I love sis like she was family and y'all reached out. So thank y'all. All right, let's move along. Here's an update on a story that we did a couple weeks ago. Louisiana Judge Michelle Odenet resigns.
She resigned.
She resigned, and she apologized following her leaked video that was full of her racial slurs. So let me ask a question. Do we believe that all of her cases, especially the ones pertaining to Blacks, should be reviewed?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Everybody says yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
I find it hard to believe that she could have been impartial, knowing that you so freely with your family use these racial slurs and were, easily correlating Black people and roaches.
Yeah.
So, I find it very hard to believe that you would have been unbiased and impartial in your courtroom.
Yeah.
Yep.
So hopefully that is something that they will be doing. I do believe that the NAACP did call for there to be a review of all her cases just to ensure, that, the sentencing and things that she gave were fair. So hopefully that is something that will definitely happen here quickly.
Hopefully. More Black men.
This one is a little saddening to me. I've heard this a couple times and I've always wanted it to be not true, but I'm starting to question that here. Trey Songz is being accused of rape.
Again. That girl is blatant with it.
By UNLV female basketball player. Now, earlier last year in 2020, so we don't know if this is something new or if this young lady is speaking to something that happened last year in Vegas. There was a complaint by some young ladies at the Cosmopolitan Hotel in regards to Trey Songz's behavior and what may or may not have happened. So I don't know if this is referencing that or if this is something new. Many of you may know that this is not new for Trey, unfortunately. This young lady, Dylan Gonzalez, she is a basketball player, as I said, at UNLV. She basically took to her Twitter and said, Trey Songz is a rapist. I'm glad to get that out. That was killing me. On to 2022.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, again, there have been such allegations in the past. I don't know if anybody has ever listened to Keke Palmer, but Keke Palmer made some allegations in regards to Trey Songz also.
Oh, I didn't know she said nothing. I didn't know she said anything.
Yes, this was a while ago on a talk show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
This was a while ago on a talk show that she talked about Trey and his behavior. Another lady that we mentioned, and unfortunately, because of her, now let me say this, let me preface this by saying that a person's background does not dictate whether or not they are telling the truth. Let's start there. Right. But the other young lady that we mentioned last week, Selena Powell, who is the lady, who always leaks out all of these rappers and stuff, she also made some allegations about Trey, saying that, basically he trapped her in a room and urinated on her without her permission. So
I wasn't prepared for I wasn't quite prepared for what you just said to me. I was taken aback by that statement there.
What?
Pissed on her is what she is alleging.
So he trapped
her in a room. He trapped her in a room and pissed on her.
Ain't nobody making that up now. What?
And pinned her down and peed on her.
Yeah.
Well,
Because you can't just trap me in a room and pee on me because I'm fighting.
Well,
my life.
Because you can't be like,
listen, baby. Listen, I don't know if y'all saw what Trey Songz was working with, but I can say that you know, it might have a good arc on it. I'm just saying. He was working with a monster.
I will not be making these jokes. No, ma'am. I'm not going to do it. No.
Trey, listen, baby. We want to believe in you, but you questionable. You gonna be sitting next to R. Kelly.
Oh, you questionable. The hell?
A lot of people, it's starting to come out. Like, you know, again, this is not the first time that this has been said about Trey.
It's not.
So I don't know. Listen, Trey, baby, you ain't got to take it. It's plenty of women who will get on that monster. You do not have to take it.
And I'm not one of those women.
But you know, a sexual deviant, that's what turns you on. So
yeah. Some people like a struggle, I guess. I don't know. Listen, I will pretend like I don't want it. Trey, listen, you again. I feel like I'm a great actress.
Oh Jesus!
No, it's not. No. I'm not today with you.
But unfortunately, the minute I get pinned down is the minute I'll start fighting back like, hey, wait a minute. I don't like to be frustrated.
2022 is a new year. We're stepping into a new year, new life.
Because it is not something to laugh about. I apologize.
It is definitely not.
Humor. If these young ladies are telling the truth and we're gonna go with, hey, we don't have any reason not to believe them, you know, that is something that definitely needs to be investigated, regardless of how much we like Trey or not.
I guess she letting us know that it's coming. She giving you a little, you know, the preview of what she about to do.
If this does have to do with that 2020 incident at the Cosmopolitan, or if this is something new. And if this is something new, this is quite disturbing, sir. This is like number 4. This is like your 4th allegation.
And what don't we know about?
Well, right. Yeah. And then there are the others that you don't know about. So, all right, moving on. This is very tragic. And when I read this, my heart just, oh Lord. A Columbus father accidentally shot his 16-year-old daughter because he thought she was an intruder.
Oh my God.
Was she sneaking into the house?
I believe that she was sneaking into the house. It was 4:30 in the morning.
When I was younger. You could have got me shot when I was younger.
Yeah. Well, Brenda wasn't gonna shoot you. And we was coming through the window. This young lad, we wasn't setting off no alarms. We was coming through the window. We wasn't setting off no alarm. That young lady set off the alarm. So apparently, I don't know. I can't say that she was sneaking back into the house, but at some point, whatever she did triggered the alarm. Mm-hmm. And she was in the garage. I don't know. Maybe she woke up and that's where they keep the sodas or something. I don't know. But I don't want to say she was sneaking back into the house because I truly don't know. But whatever she was doing triggered the alarm. She was in the garage. The father thought that there was an intruder. You know, he went to protect his family. And he shot his 16-year-old daughter.
But did she die?
She did die.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, she died. Upon arrival at the hospital, she was pronounced dead. Yeah, that's unfortunately.
Wow.
And of course, you know, you hear the mother and the father in the background on the phone call because it was 4:30 in the morning. Yeah. You know, basically saying, hey, hurry, trying to get her to wake up. The daddy saying, what was you doing in here? Like, what is going on? They were distraught, as of course they should have been. Yeah. Listen, I don't know if she was sneaking into that house, but if she was, y'all let this, don't do that. That's stupid. That is stupid. You know, your parents are trying to protect you. And, you know, you sneaking out the house, setting off alarms, all this type of stuff, even if you're not setting off an alarm. Even, you know, I am somebody who, I sleep with a lot of noise because I'm slightly paranoid. So I am scared, you know, that I will do something like that. So I kind of block out all my noise. I used to lock my own bedroom door so that, you know, if somebody jiggled the handle, that would give me enough time to get to my pistol. But, you know, that's scary. You just never know. I have my alarm set up within my house to where if you walk through my house in the middle of the night, my phone goes off. Motion sets mine off. So, you know, I got enough time to say, oh, okay, that's my baby. versus if you open up an outside door over here, it really goes off. Like, you know, but yeah, it's sad. You know, this man has unfortunately killed his daughter.
You know how you ever live with that?
Yeah,
How do you
it's sad.
live with that? That's
Yeah. And it just happened. So now you are going into I can't imagine that type of grief. Like, how do you move forward from that? But
a lot of factors could have went into that. We don't know what type of neighborhood. I hate to say that, but we don't know what type of neighborhood he's in. So maybe he truly did think it was somebody breaking in the house.
Listen, I'm sure he really thought that. It don't even matter the night. Honestly,
wherever you are, if your alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning, that's gonna startle the fuck out you.
Right, you're gonna assume I'm gonna assume somebody's breaking in. There's no reason in the world.
Who would have got this house at 4:30 in the daggone morning? But some criminals.
Listen, my son, who is away in college, called himself surprising me by coming home. My nephew had been in my house. So my son called himself surprising me by coming home. Well, my nephew had texted me and said he was gone. Well, then when my alarm goes off at this random, maybe an hour and a half after he said he was gone, I see this figure, you know, come across my camera. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's not what my nephew had on. And that person is, what the fuck? Like, I was on a date, literally like, hey, turn this car around. My date at the time was like, I got my pistol, let's go. I called my nephew and was like, are you at my house? And he was like, no. I said, somebody broke into my house. Well, then immediately after hanging up, my nephew calls me back. He was like, TT, it's Christian. Baby, y'all was about to be shot.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do stuff like that. Like, you in these times with everything that's going on, you know, we see that LA then turned into the purge. Folks is breaking in the houses, you know, you can't.
People are losing their rabbit ass minds. And
they are.
You got to be on high alert.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to assume that at 4:30 in the morning, you're going to assume someone is trying to break in. And I'm sorry. That is very sad. That is tragic. I mean, you know, unfortunately, that is something that man will have to deal with for the rest of his life. I hope, hopefully he gets counseling and somebody makes him realize that it truly was not his fault. Yeah. He was trying to protect his family, including her.
Including her.
Yeah, including her. So,
rest in
peace. All right, let's move along. The truck driver who initially got 110 years for an accident that killed 4 and injured others, his sentence was commuted down to 10 years. Mm-hmm. I thought it was super extreme for this man to, I mean, it was super overboard. 110 years?
Why? I don't get what happened.
Wasn't it an accident? It was an accident.
It was an accident. His brakes
Was he drunk?
No, he wasn't drunk. He wasn't high. He wasn't under the influence of anything.
Did he know about the brakes?
Well,
no,
he didn't know about the brakes. Here's the issue. The issue comes in the fact that he was going 85 in a 45. Okay? He's going 85 in a 45. In a semi-truck. And his brakes failed. Now, of course, he has no way of being in control of the brake cylinder, but the system is saying you had no business going 85 and a 45 in a semi-truck.
Well,
which is true.
Most of the trucks don't even let you go.
But I know 110 years true. That ain't no 110 year true punishment. No. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, because even at 45, a semi can't just.
No. Even if the brakes is on point. Yeah,
you have to think about that. Going that type of distance in that type of speed in that type of vehicle. Imagine how far in advance you would have to brake.
Yeah,
that's crazy. You can't just stop on a dime in no semi truck going no 85.
Going no anything. So,
I mean,
so at 85, that was just ridiculous.
Oh my God.
We all have sped, and we never think about the consequences. So I'm pretty sure he was not thinking he was gonna kill somebody. He was trying to get this load to where it gotta go.
Of course not. But when you got,
you never are thinking about that.
That's your job, and
that is your job.
Right, he's at work, and so you know what I'm saying. You are hauling however many ton vehicle that is, you do have to start thinking like that.
Yeah,
like you
and
can't
just like police officers,
40,
truck drivers are held to a different standard. They're held to a different standard than regular motorists. And the speed limit is different from a regular motorist. So in that regard, I am glad that they did reduce it. But he, you know, 10 years is not outrageous because that's negligence on his
10 years is that seems more like you know what I'm saying.
He was definitely at fault, but you know, unfortunately, there were other mitigating factors that played a part.
Right.
You know, by no means were you supposed to be going 85, but even at 45, if your brakes had went out, you could have hurt somebody.
You still could have hurt somebody,
you know,
right?
But maybe at 45, if your brakes went off, you could have veered off into a field. You know, and your car would have, your truck would have, you know, eventually slowed down. But at 85, baby, you a torpedo.
You taking out lines of cars. You taking out lines of vehicles.
Yeah, and it was a bad crash, and I mean an extremely bad.
It was really bad.
Yeah. So, but I am glad to see that, you know, his sentence was commuted. As I said,
he's eligible for parole in 5 years.
And so he was commuted down to 10 years, which I feel like is definitely more appropriate. So that's that. Well, The Rock and Vin Diesel. I don't know if y'all know, but they have had a little bit of ongoing beef over the years. A few years back, maybe Vin made some comments in regards to The Rock being late to filming and them having to wait on him, and basically saying that The Rock was kind of a diva or a divo or whatever you want to call it, you know. And then, of course, The Rock responded. Then I think there was a little bit of beef between Tyrese and The Rock.
I did see that.
Yeah, because, you know, Tyrese a cry child.
Oh, Tyrese.
Your baby will cry. So now that we are up to the 10th installment, or what they would like to be the 10th installment of Fast and Furious.
And hopefully the final.
It is of my belief that they can just let that go.
Yeah.
What's the one after that he died? I was like, I thought that was it.
Listen, y'all, it's a good thing. It's a good series. And as long as they gonna keep selling out box offices and making billions, keep the party going.
I can't hate on it. I can't hate on it.
I
won't be putting my money.
People love Fast and Furious. I am one of them. And as long as they continue to be good, and the last one was still very good.
I haven't seen it.
What's the one guy that got killed in the car accident? What's his name?
Paul Walker.
I can't bring myself to watch it after that.
One after that, but
they are still very
good. I haven't seen any of them. I'm sorry.
These are all top tier actors, so I do not deny that it is probably good. I'm just somebody who is over it. I can't recall. I think the last one I saw was when the one girl died, not Letty, but the skinnier girl. Her and the Chinese guy had like a little thing going on.
Oh, yeah. But she back.
See what I mean?
This is a soap opera.
I think for real. I think for the 10th one, she might be back or something. But I think, I don't know. I think but it's good.
But at what point do these movies stop making all these sequels? It's too much sometimes.
Somebody like it.
You're right. Somebody do like it.
Somebody like it.
Not me.
Plenty of people like it.
Just not me.
Out now.
Not me.
Yeah, plenty of people like it.
I'm one of them people.
So The Rock says he will not be returning to the Fast and Furious franchise, and that he feels like Vin Diesel's attempts to lure him back are just manipulation. So prior to this, Vin Diesel went on and did this post basically to plead to The Rock to come on back for the 10th and final, franchise. He brought up Paul Walker's name. He brought up their children's names, and then just and The Rock felt like, you're trying to manipulate me. Like, you bringing up Paul, you bringing up our kids. Ben was like, so my kids, you Uncle Dwayne. Which is very weird to me, considering that y'all really don't even get along.
Mm-hmm.
But
why are you taking this to social media?
And that is what Dwayne is saying. Dwayne is saying,
on him. Put the pressure
right,
on.
You're trying to put the pressure on, and that's what he said.
And he stood in the phone.
He said, because we already had a conversation in private where I told you no.
Yeah.
I told you no. We had a conversation in private. I told you no. I've told Universal no. Like, I've said no. Now you're trying to manipulate me in public using Paul Walker, using these kids, using the public to try to, manipulate me back into doing something that I've already been clear about that I am not doing.
Yeah, he's trying to bully him. But I thought Tyrese and Vin Diesel had an issue as well.
I thought it was Tyrese and just The Rock. I didn't think anybody else had no issue with him.
Oh yeah, Vin and The Rock, and then Tyrese and The Rock.
Oh,
does that make The Rock the common denominator? Is he the problem?
No, out of that, I think that The Rock is the biggest star, and if he comes back, they know for sure.
And he is the one that's getting paid the most.
And they know for sure if The Rock come back, that's going to really be that, like, oh my God, the 10th and final.
He ain't been in one since before Paul Walker died.
Do well without him.
Right.
How did the
because the last one it was John Cena. John Cena was in this last one.
Come on,
he did really good.
I like John Cena. He's kind of fine for a white boy.
He did really good at it too.
Well, I mean, listen, y'all have had box office hits without The Rock. He does not want to be involved. Let that man be a part.
Right.
Listen, The Rock is trying to run for office, y'all.
Oh God.
Apparently, politician Barnes said to this new Matrix, because he wasn't nowhere near in that new Matrix, and everybody else was. I was a little upset about that.
Lawrence Fishburne did not be in the new Matrix.
He wasn't in the new Matrix.
He didn't want to be a part.
More sequels.
Apparently not. I said he said the same
more
thing.
More sequels.
I'm good.
Listen, they can't make nothing new these days. Everything that's coming out is a piggyback off of something before.
Nobody seems to have original ideas. Everything is a remake.
Not really. Nope, not really.
And
some stuff does going on,
you
left
should have plenty of material.
Leave it where it lays.
Some stuff just leave alone,
please.
Yeah.
Some things are just classics and don't need to be redone.
I agree. So if The Rock decides that he's gonna run for office, he's gonna be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No, I think he want to run for president.
Girl, anybody running for president these days, I see.
Baby, if I see a ticket with The Rock and Kanye West name on it, that will be the year that I do not vote.
Ronald Reagan was an actor, and he ran and won.
What?
Yeah, and look how he turned out. He wasn't shit. And he wasn't shit either. Okay.
I'm just saying, not like that
got before my time. That's way before my time.
He wasn't shit.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan was an actor, and he became president.
I did not know
Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is not from America, so he can't
run for president.
Yeah,
Schwarzenegger, but he can't
sit your ass down somewhere. Shit.
Well, listen, Schwarzenegger is old as dirt. We already got an old president. We don't need no more old as hell presidents. And, him and Maria. Him and Maria's divorce just became.
Go back.
They divorced.
They divorced. Oh yeah, they've been separated for 10 years. They're divorced.
Yeah, because he cheated with the maid. With the maid. He cheated with the maid.
Yeah, he had a baby with the maid. You don't remember that?
He got a side baby, an outside baby.
Listen, and that outside baby was 21 by now. So he had that baby with the maid and was hiding it for years before it ever came out.
Little bastard baby.
Not little bastard baby. Lord forgive me. That maid.
Ooh, she was elderly. Was she older?
Ooh, she was elderly.
Ugly? Oh, that was not nice. Unattractive.
Pull up that picture. That was a long time ago.
It's a good point to pull that picture.
Yeah.
You know, I like the
Arnold Schwarzenegger and that maid. She was
pop that picture on there.
Pop that picture up. You hear me? She was some sort of immigrant.
And by the time what she was doing, she was popping them dentures out. She was popping them dentures out.
That child was like 10 when it came out. So then Maria and Arnold, you know, they went through their separation. They have been separated for 10 years. They filed for divorce 10 years ago, and it is just now legal.
What? I didn't know that.
I
thought they had been got a divorce. Ooh,
nope.
Divorces
their divorce was finalized like last month.
That's why I don't want to be married.
Girl, shut up.
I don't.
Hey, listen, to each his own. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Whatever.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So Arnold,
it ain't for me.
So Dwayne, if you're gonna be the president, baby, we got some stuff. The black folks got some stuff we need to talk about with you because your daddy was black. So come on, we got us another Obama.
Listen, wait, hold up. Is this her?
That is
She's
her.
elderly, girl.
I know you're not to me.
She was elderly. It wasn't even no hot maid.
Muffy. She was popping them dentures out is what she was doing. Had his nose open wide, honey. He was like, oh.
Well, he couldn't deny his son, though.
She was elderly. She was not the hot maid. You hear me? By no means. But she was probably experienced. Yes, girl. She wasn't fine, but she was experienced.
That looked like his mammy.
Y'all hired her to take care of the house. So listen, she took care of the head of the house.
He took care of the house.
Let's call a spade a spade. He liked the manly looking women because Maria was manly looking as well.
She got some strong features. She does have some strong features. She does. I can't stand
a friend that was married to a woman that had strong features too.
And on that note,
not gonna do this with you today. Is what I'm not gonna do. And
very strong in the face. Also.
Who?
I had a friend that was married to a woman.
I'm not saying
you don't
well,
know.
She knows.
She was. All right. And on that note,
yeah,
we are going to take a second to thank those sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
We'll be back.
Today's sponsor is Unapologetically Natural, a natural body care line that carries body butter, body scrubs, and so much more. Unapologetically Natural, where health and wellness is a lifestyle. Place an order and mention the word Queens for a 15% discount.
Hey, we're back. We're back. And we are talking about in Black America today, why so few Black women are married. So I think statistics say something like 11% of Black women are married. I had it pulled up. But ladies, what do
11% out of what age? That's so
very low. Of adult women, but
yeah,
compared to our white counterparts or our Hispanic counterparts, what are their numbers?
I have to pull that up. But so tell me why you all think that so few Black women are married.
Well, go ahead, Patty, because she's ready.
I saw Patty's hand go up first.
Yeah, I did too.
She has something on her mind.
I have a couple of different views on this topic. So the first one is, why are we still considering marriage the end game? Why is that complete happiness? Why is that the total package? That's just one. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it because I think marriage is a beautiful thing. Honestly, I do. If you have two people and that's what y'all want to do, but marriage is at this point in life, you know, we are not like we were 100 years ago. Marriage is not the end game for everybody. Okay. The second thing is, I do feel like for those of us who want to get married, are we making our goals, the goals I'm trying to say, are we making that clear to the person that we are interested in? Are we making that something that we are saying with somebody like, this is what I want to do. This is it. Like for me, again, I met a guy, super sweet guy, went on a nice date, but I knew that at the end he wanted to be married and in a relationship. So to me, right now, I just have the time for me to continue anything with him. So he's like, it's not what I wanted, but it really is what you want. So I don't want to waste your time. That is not my end game. I do feel like the third thing is that a lot of us women are putting our fate in the hands of a man when he is ready. And we got to stop doing that. Like, when are you ready? You need to tell this man when you want to get married, make him make that, that's got to be something that he needs to do to get with you.
I disagree. I heavily agree to it to a certain extent. Listen, I believe that there are several things that play a part in Black women not marrying at the rate of white women. First of all, you have to take into account incarceration. There are a high number of Black men being incarcerated versus white men. And this is on the basis of if you want to marry a Black man. I mean, of course, you can marry whatever you want to marry. But if I am a Black woman looking for a Black man, you have to keep into account that the incarceration rate of Black men is very high. So that knocks you down a peg.
Let me stop you 1 second.
Okay.
So we are basically saying we're not including same-sex marriages of this. We're just assuming this is a man and woman relationship, correct?
No, it could be same-sex. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just speaking on for me, if I was going to marry, for me, I'm not marrying no woman. I can barely get along with myself. So I'm not marrying no woman. So if I'm going to marry a man. 9 times out of 10, probably a Black man, although I like men.
Okay.
Period. Okay. So with that being said, you have to keep in mind that the incarceration rates of Black men are high. So then that knocks you down a peg. Essentially right now, and if that is something that matters to you, Black women tend to make more than Black men, even in the wealth gap. Okay. So if you are a woman who wants a man who is affluent or makes good money, that is also a peg down. We tend to make more money than them, okay? Then you add in just the environmental things that are going on. Black men are being killed at a high rate, less education. It's so many things that play a part. And so for the women who don't care about, and somebody's gonna take this the wrong way, but I can't care. For the women who don't care about dating down or marrying down, you probably have more options. For the women who care about it, you got less options. Now that's my opinion. I pick you.
I think all the things that you guys have said are spot on. But I also want to add that I believe that Black men are more likely in compared to us, in comparison to Black women, are more likely to marry outside their race.
Yes, I agree.
And Black women are more likely to marry within their race, right? So I think that one has a huge impact on why Black women are not finding their mates. I also think that and I lost my train of thought there. So
get it back.
I can't remember what I was gonna say. But Muck, go ahead. I'll come back if you have something you want to say. No.
I agree and disagree. Because if it was an equal playing field, equally for men, Black men and Black women, I think the reason why Black women are not getting married is because it's a different age. It's a different time. It's a different age. And Black people in general are progressive as fuck right now. And marriage is not get married
at the top of their list.
It's not at the top of their list. Like, I don't think it's something that they not wanting to do. It's just not the top of their list. Instead of getting married and then getting it together, people are choosing to get it together first. Finances and careers and entrepreneurship. I think they're choosing that first as opposed to getting married first. I think they want their ducks in a row. I think everybody wants to be secure in themselves first and not secure in their mate. I think that is the reason that Black women are not marrying. It's,
so it's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that. So in this panel of 4, we have 2 women who are either married or have been married, right? And then you have 2 women who are not married, have not been married, and kind of truly don't really have a desire to be married. So it's funny that you say that because, you know, for me, and as of course, as Patty has said, marriage is not at the top of our list.
Right.
Marriage is not at the top of my list. I do have a long laundry list of things that I would like to pursue and dreams and goals that I want to accomplish. Marriage is not on that list, honestly. Not that I think anything is wrong with marriage. I love the idea of love and Black love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it fits me and my personality and my life and the things that I desire. You know, I tell people all the time, even in dating, I'm a bit of a wild bird. I'm a free spirit. I'm like that horse that you can't break. You know, I don't know if marriage suits me. There may be somebody out there that is just as wild and as free as I am, and baby, we can make that thing happen. But I think that that's true. The desire to be married is not the same. Listen, Lorene and Karen and Nanda, you know, their times were different. And at those times, having a 2-income family was a big thing. And it helped. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, let's join these forces. And, you know, you help me take care of these kids. We pay these bills together. And, you know, we can afford this house note and we can have something.
Right.
But that's not really the dynamic these days.
Let's but go back. So real quick. So what I wanted to say is that I feel like, first of all, Black women are more likely to be raised in single parent and Black women, Black boys, whoever, Black girls are more likely to be raised in single parent homes. So that's what we see. Okay, yes. So that's what we see.
Is what
that's what we know.
So it's different from what you
saw.
Also,
we are, as Black women, taught to be strong, to be independent. Black women. White women don't teach their kids that. Hispanics don't. They don't do that. Why? Because they understand the importance of having a man and a woman in a household when you have children. Now you out here single doing your thing. That's different. I get that. But once you bring children into the picture, I do believe that having a husband and a wife is key to that family's success. And we have been conditioned to believe that, oh, I can do it on my own. I got this. I don't need no man. I'm going to go out here and, you know, live my best life. I don't know if that is what is good for our Black community.
I agree with you. I actually do agree with you in that. I do agree that had I would fare better with a man in this household to help raise these children. I do not disagree with that, especially since I have Black boys. Because, you know, we have this conversation about women teaching men how to be men. I agree. I can't teach no man. I cannot teach my son how to be a man. I can't teach him how to be successful. I can't teach him how to, I'm gonna get y'all. I can't teach him how to be, you know, respectful and all those things. But I do think that there comes a place where having a male figure in the household creates a different type of young man. Now, thankfully, I have male figures around, but it's not in the household. And I think that that is different. Patty, I pick you. I think your hand was up first.
So to kind of piggyback off of both of y'all. So I can't, to you first, I really can't say that. So I was raised in a 2-parent household. My parents were together when they were in high school. They ended up getting married and, you know, until I left, and then they got a divorce. However, I'm not going to sit here and say that is what I wanted from my children. It just didn't happen. And even I can't say, even to your point, Akua, is that even if having a man in the household, because you got to see what type of man you're dealing with as well. Just because you have a man in the household, to me, does not mean that that man is going to be a strong person for your child. Okay. Right. So, because with one of my son's fathers, honestly, like I said, he's not a bad person. It's just, I feel like I chose the wrong person to have a child with. Okay. Well, I did. And we did not co-parent well. We still we on the fence sometimes when it comes to that. And still to this day, my son is 19, and this is just not who I would have chose for a father for my son, because even with him in the household, we worked together when we had my son. This is not who I should have had a kid by. He was not raising my son to be the man that I wanted him to be.
Well, it's not just about what you wanted your man to. It has to be the type of man that y'all want y'all son to be. You see what I'm saying?
And goes to that point too.
And still,
so,
right?
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
You, Aisha.
Aisha.
just want to say a lot of women, black men, always the argument is always having a father figure in the home when you have a son, which I agree is valid.
Girls too. I need my
listen.
biological
That's what I was
daddy.
gonna say. Let's not take away from girls. Girls need a father in the home just as much as a boy.
Yeah. I agree.
Especially when it's a good father, because a girl does need to see what it is like to see a man treat her mother or a woman in general. If they never experience that, then they don't know, and they become these strong alpha women like myself, like like all of us. You become a strong alpha woman, and because you never seen it. You don't, it doesn't make or break you. If you never grew up with that mindset, it doesn't make or break you. Marriage is not at the top tier. You know, you watch movies and you may think, oh, that seems nice. But in the reality of it, you don't even know what it really like to experience that. So women, young girls needs a father in the home just as much as young boys. And young boys need a mom in the home just as much as they need a dad, because they do need to see what a real woman is like.
I agree.
I want to give a shout out to my daddy.
Fathers and all mothers are not good mothers, but if you have a good mother who
we're talking about
good foundation, and I ain't talking about the mother that cook every day, because that doesn't make you a good mother. This is a strong female figure in your life that shows you the ropes. This is what you want to raise your children. This is the type of woman you want in your household. She's going to make sure everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's so funny. Go ahead, of course. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and although we can do this by ourselves, you know what I'm saying? I recently married, you know what I'm saying? My 4 kids, are with somebody else. And so, although we can do it by ourselves, we help our family unit when we are connected. Right. You know what I'm saying? So the man can bring protection and, provision and things like that. And we can do it ourselves, but we can build better and more when we are coming together, uniting. Listen, that's what our Black community is, you know what I'm saying?
Little things like knowing
what you say?
I said it's little things that a man and a woman show their children that I didn't even know. I didn't even know that it was gentlemen like to have a man open the door for you. I would go grab that door, and it wasn't until like if you touch that door, and I'm like, what's
wrong with you?
What you talking about? I gotta get in this door. I gotta get in this car, because to me it was normal and natural. I never shunned upon it not happening because I did not see it.
The support. We need the support.
It is key about what you see. For me, my grandparents spent a large part of time raising me, and my grandparents were married, had been married 60 plus years before they were deceased. And my good positive images come from my grandfather and my grandmother. I often talk about how my grandfather on Sunday mornings got up, took my grandmother's car to get it filled up, washed, would come back, get my Jeep, get it filled up, wash. We would go to church together on Sundays, just different things like that. Then, of course, I also was raised by a single mother, and I saw my mama do it all. So, I often have that dissension between the two images, because as people have heard me say, I love me a thug. Okay. But that's because that's what my daddy was. Right. Mm-hmm. But I also love this man who takes care of a household. So it's very hard to find the balance between the two of want this nigga that done some time and want this man that's going to get up and take my car and get my gas tank filled up and wipe my windows when it's snowing and start my car and be a good father figure. You see, there's that breakdown between the two.
Right, but and it's some people who never saw it at all. I never saw it at all. I never saw it either way. I never saw a strong Black. I never saw it at all. So I did get married. And my ex-husband was that type of husband who I never touched, put a gas in the car. He did all those things, and I was like, oh, but it still did not mean that that was the type of man that you wanted to be with forever. He did those things, but didn't do those things. So, people got to find what works best for them and stop, stop letting society dictate what you think is right for you. If you want to be married and then do that. But for me, I didn't. Been married. I ain't think I would ever think about doing it again. I think about doing it again. But it wouldn't be on the terms of stability.
Yeah.
Right.
It wouldn't be on those terms.
Patty, go.
I want to give a shout out to my daddy real fast. So again, my mother and father were together. And like I said, they were not the perfect parents, but I will say that looking back on it, my daddy he wasn't no thug and nothing like that. My daddy went to work. He got him a good little job at the post office, honey, and he been there ever since. Through every fault, I can always say that my daddy was there for me. He was my best friend. We grew up together. Like, I don't care what has happened and transpired over the years, no mistake that has been made. I am thankful for the small things that I look back on that my dad has shown me that he has did for me and he continues to do. So I just want to give a shout out to him real fast.
Yeah. Listen, my daddy was not ideal. Okay. Me and Akul were just talking about this the other day. He was not ideal. He was not Bill Cosby. He wasn't Heathcliff Huxtable. He wasn't, he wasn't Ward Cleaver. He was not by no means. Now, yes, Abba Joe Dupree did show me a lot of things on a nurturing side and a providing side that Yusef probably did not show me. But there are a lot of things that I learned from Yusef in regards to, taking care of myself and being aware of my surroundings and, being protective and loving and kind and about family, looking out for one another. Me and my sister are definitely a product of our father in the way that we, look out for each other and make sure that each other are good and protect one another. Like, that is something that came from my father and honestly, my father's side of the family, no, he was not ideal. Do I think, honestly, that I would have fared better if Yusef had been in the household with me and Brenda full time? Because he was there with us part of the time. I'm going to say no. Yeah. I don't. I think that if y'all think I'm crazy now, that had Yusef been there all that time, baby, what y'all would be looking at is Cleo from Set It Off.
Stone cold crazy.
I mean stone cold crazy. All right? I think that God knew I needed the balance of Yusef and Abijah.
And unfortunately, all things happen for a reason. We just don't understand why they happen. And we have to, no matter what, give our parents some grace because they did the best that they could do on both sides. And we all four as parents are definitely doing the best that we can do.
Yeah,
Daddy or not, mama or not, whatever.
Traditional bringing up, and my story. My mom was crazy. However, I would not trade her for all the tea in China because she taught me life lessons without even knowing she was teaching me life lessons that I would never have gotten from anywhere or anyone else. So no, absolutely.
And this is not to belittle anyone, right? Not my dad, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not anybody, because all we can do as Black women is try to learn to do better, to show our kids that are coming back, behind us, the mistakes that we made, the mistakes that were made generations ago, and try to, combat those generational curses and, do better in the future. And so that's my biggest thing. It's not, not that, because my dad wasn't in the home with me, but I was raised by my mom and my stepdad. Mm-hmm. So if you know my stepdad and my dad are two different people. I mean, it's Black and it's white, it's the yin and it's the yang. Yes, two different ends of the spectrum. So I got a good, understanding of of the variety of men that are out there. So it's not to belittle anyone. We all, are trying and growing because I wouldn't have, had children. My babies are blessings to me. Yes. So you know what I'm saying, although I, you know, made a mistake, you know what I'm saying, with the person, one of my oldest son's father, and having a kid with him, because, you know what I'm saying, we just was having sex. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't nothing there, you know what I'm saying, but my baby came, and so that's all that mattered. And so we did the best we could with what we had, right? Mm-hmm. But going forward, I want the generations that come after us to understand what the mistakes that we made and how they can do better. That's what that's, you know what I'm saying, that's
I love that. Love that.
Marriage is not a bad thing. Marriage is truly a beautiful thing if it is healthy. And you know, if it is grounded and built on a great foundation. Marriage is truly a thing. I want my sons to get married. I do. Despite the fact, you know, one of the only reasons, and this sounds horrible, but for me, one of the only reasons I ever really thought about marriage as I got older was to be able to show my sons something healthy and positive in how men treat women and two people work together and, you know, have a household. And that's the wrong reason to want to get married. I want to see my sons get married, but you know, it is what it is. So
because you know,
the beautiful thing with your grandparents.
It's hard being a single parent. It's hard to co-parent. It's hard, especially if you don't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to, you know what I'm saying, to do these relationships. And so when you see a better way for your kids, you want that better way for your kids. You don't want them to go through the same mistakes that you went through and bump your head the same times that you did.
Right.
One more thing I gotta say before we end this. So so it seems like this how the family dynamics have changed. And again, like I said, I have 2 children, 2 different dads, but I am grateful for my oldest son's stepmother. Her and I we didn't start off in a good place. You know what I'm saying? It took us a while to get there, but no matter what, even though maybe I couldn't raise my son the way I wanted in a 2-parent household or even have a good relationship with his dad, I am grateful that out of that, he married a woman who now her and we get along just great. She is amazing to my son, and my son has special needs. So that is also, you know, that's a big thing for me. Like the way she treats my son, she treats him like he's her own. So, you know, things happen for a reason.
Before we go to the next segment, I want to give a shout out to my son, Amari James, who turned 17 on December 30th. Happy birthday, baby.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Amari. TT, love you. All right, we're going to take a pause for the calls and thank those sponsors. We'll be right back.
Thank you, sponsors. Thank you.
Today's sponsor right now look like you on a vacation. Gotta get away, make it happen. Whatever happened just had to happen. On vacation, yeah. I know you've been dancing like you fucking got a reason. Dancing like it's something to believe in. Dancing like it's fucking dancing season. Blame it.
All right, we are back. And our final segment is love and happiness. And with it being the new year, the ladies and I decided that we would talk resolutions, goals, and things that we would like to have happen in this new year. Okay. Who wants to go first? Anybody? Nobody. Nobody knows what they want to do, huh?
I was gonna let somebody. I know mine, but I'm gonna let somebody else go.
Okay, I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
I don't do resolutions. What you got? I don't do resolutions, but my goal going forward, period, is to stay more focused. I did go to church on New Year's Eve, something I haven't done in about a decade.
Crazy.
And it was really good because he talked about finishing strong. And he said there was 4 types of people: focused, weighted, distracted, and the one who the planner but never sees it through.
Baby, you was listening.
I was listening. I took notes.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that she took notes.
I did. You know, I took notes. So I felt myself in the category as the weighted person. He called it the weighted runner because I got goals and I try to stay focused and on course, and I'm doing pretty good, better than I've ever done. But I'm weighted because as soon as somebody call me with their issue, and then they call me with their issue, and then I'm like, I'm gonna pick back up on what I need to do, but let me do this first. So it's not that I'm not focused or I don't have goals. I have my goals, and and everything else that's weighted. And it don't have to be do with other people. It could be with finances. It could be with, just putting too much on your plate where you weight it down. Sometimes you got to be tunnel vision on your focus. And that's what I need to be more of. Like, if I say I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock, I can get easily off of that because somebody won't call or if football, things that I just need to, because y'all know what football know I need to stop. Like, I don't care. At 10 o'clock, I know that my goal is I want to get up at this time in the morning so I can get this done before I start my day. And in order to do that, let me shut it down. That's me being more focused. So my goal is to stay the course of being focused on the things that I need to do and not let nothing or no one come in between that focus. Because as long as I keep weighting myself down, it's going to make my goal further away.
Patty?
So I would honestly say that last year was probably one of the best years I've had in a long time. My son was diagnosed with epilepsy. I had some issues with my older son, but despite it all, I kept pushing forward. I think the pandemic, I hate to say this, I know that the pandemic is bad and it has taken its toll. Everybody takes it differently, but for me, it probably was one of the best things that has ever happened to me because I needed to be at home with my kids. I needed to be at home and focused because I was able to save more money. I lost weight. I was just able to focus more on me. I traveled a lot safely, but I still traveled a lot. I was able to reconnect with some people and I was able to just live how I wanted to and by my own rules. So going forward, I would like to continue that. I really feel like I've been trying to find myself over the last couple of years. And last year I really found Patty. Okay. And no, unapologetically, like Akua's business is unapologetically natural. I never really understood that word. And last year I was like, that applies to me. I'm very unapologetically about everything. I live how I want to. So again, going forward, that is how I would like to continue. So what I need to focus on is conquering the hard things and pushing myself, as my baby daddy says, getting out of your own way. And I'm always in my own way of everything. It's some hard things that I need to face and do and conquer. I need a new job, a new career, something. I need to get over that. So it's a lot of things that I want to focus on this year as far as that. That's basically, I just want to keep on living how I've been living. Like, I don't know. I actually went into this year happy, focused, got some things I want to conquer and I'm going to do it. So I really don't have, and like you said, Aisha, Ken, who was going to be a guest on the show, told me a long time ago that we shouldn't have New Year's resolutions. We should have goals. I think I've been doing this for about 10 years now, if not longer. I just have some goals. And I always start off with some small things I want to do. Then I start working on the big things. Then I try to give myself time to accomplish that. So I would like to have, a job by a certain point, whenever God sees fit for me to do it, but sometimes it's your God, come on in. And I would like to give me a new vehicle. I want to give my kids a little bit more, some stabilization with my children. But that's it. I'm gonna keep on traveling and I'm gonna, keep on coming seeing y'all and, hey, living my life like it's golden.
I do want to say one thing. DeMont came on and I've watched that several times. I've watched it several times. And the one thing that, I took away a lot, but one of the biggest things that I took away from what he's saying is not to minimize the goals that I need, because the more goals I have, the more goals I will complete. Because if you put 5 things down and you finish them, you feel done. You're never done. If you put 200 things down, when you do 5, let me do 5 more. Yeah. Let me do 5 more. And that is something that I am going to practice, is to not limit my goals. Yeah. Put them all down. Yep. So that I can get more of them done.
Cool.
So I am committed to being a lifelong learner. And so that is learning in every aspect of my life. And I know one thing that's been on my heart is my financial literacy. for me and my family, so that we can start building generational wealth. So learning what that looks like. I've already scheduled appointments with my financial advisor, and I'm just trying to make sure that I'm set up, as well as my children and hopefully my children's children. So that is and most of my goals are not this year's goals, but they are things that I'm starting this year, and hopefully will see to fruition in the next couple of years. I know I decided maybe a couple of weeks ago that in 5 years I want to open my own practice. So there's a lot of different steps that will have to take place in order for me to do that. So working on those steps starting this year. Let's see. One thing that I've been working on for this past year is self-awareness, introspection about myself, and where I am and who I am and why I am like I am. So continuing that through therapy, learning to utilize self-care, the tips and the techniques that I share with everyone else, learning to do that for myself and recognizing what works for me the best, and things that I can, that are really not working for me, and, moving those things out of my way. Starting to, I think, like kind of Muffy was saying, starting to whittle away all the different distractions, all the different things that are just been hanging on, just been dragging along with me. I've been carrying them. I'm ready to loose these things. I'm ready to get rid of some of the baggage. May not just be my own baggage, but other people's baggage that I've, been carrying on my back, and loose those things so that I can blossom into the woman that I know God has created me to be. Learning my purpose and spiritually is also key for me. I know that I feel like once I got married, all my priorities shifted. And so now I'm trying to realign things that I feel are priority, so I don't lose myself, is key for me this year.
That's wonderful.
All right.
Cool. I got to talk to you about something. Remind me.
Okay. I am also like Aisha and Patty. I don't really do New Year's resolutions. I feel like you kind of set yourself up to a certain extent, but I do have goals. And like most of these ladies, it is business wise. I do have some things that I want to see get off the ground. And I do know that I also have my fair share of weight and distractions that keep me from being able to make those things come to fruition. I do want to start loving myself more, putting more time and energy into creating this space within myself that is comfortable and happy and capable. At one point I had started meditating. I've got out of that. This year was, while it was a good year, it also was a good year for me in some areas, and in other areas, not so much. I got away from a lot of things that I had started to do before the pandemic. I was working out and I was meditating and all of those things. And I hiked and I did all of those type of different things that were good for my self-care and for me mentally and emotionally. And I got away from a lot of those things. So I definitely want to get back into those things this year that bring me peace and bring me balance. I want to work on my health. That is something that I want to work on. Not so much the losing weight part, which of course I do want to lose weight, but I want to just be a healthier me, period. I also want to get my finances in order. Key for my family, but also key for the ventures that I want to be able to start. It's just really more so about those goals and trying to eke those out and make those come to fruition. And just even the small things, it was cool. It was funny because as Aisha was thinking about the things that Demont said, I also thought about the things that Demont said at the same time about having a lot of goals. And that way you have your percentage rate is a lot higher when you have a lot more. So even down to the smallest things, getting up at a certain time so that I can meditate, shutting down at a certain time so that I can have a good night's sleep. Being more consistent with my eating, being more consistent with my exercise, even being more consistent with the time that I take with my son to teach him new things. I love to learn. I love new things. I love to experience new things. I definitely want to be able to do more of that in 2022. I want to be able to travel and see new places that I've never seen and learn new things. And I'd also like to be able to teach my son new things. So it's really more just about self-evaluation, self-growth, business ventures, financial literacy as well, and being a better version of me in 2022. And doing all of that unapologetically as we do.
Absolutely.
So,
Indeed.
that is our 2022 resolutions and goals. What are yours? We'd love to know what yours are. So let us know. We shall bid you adieu in this year of 2022. We thank y'all for paying attention and tuning in. We love y'all. And remember, when the crowns shift, when queens converse, the crowns may shift, but they never fall. Y'all be blessed and have the day that you deserve. We love y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I get one down in a second if you